are protruding through this hoodie. That's so gross. What up, everybody? It's me, Bitchy, here back, giving you another show. Child, here back to recap last week's celeb hot topics and tea and shenanigans, child. Like I said, we're gonna come back every week and just kind of recap the shenanigans and tea and big news stories and celeb. It's not always gonna be celebrity stuff. It may be world news, breaking news, sports, different stuff like that. So I want to start off, child. First of all, want to give the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 snaps and a yas to Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King. Today is his birthday. Thank you, Dr. King, for everything that you did for me and for everybody else who's going to come after me, if we have an earth after me. But thank you, Dr. King. But I want to go over to Dr. Kang the Conqueror, aka Jonathan Majors, formerly known as Kang, the artist formerly known as Kang, Jonathan Majors. In that interview he gave us last Monday, on Good Morning America, very much so somber, and I felt that it was time for me to, it was time for me to speak and speak on this, and very soft spoken, and giving his side of the story and his feelings and thoughts on the verdicts, being found guilty of menacing or something like that. It was like menacing and stalking. I don't know what the hell he was guilty of, but found guilty of some small shit that I don't really know if he did still. But child, I don't care at the same time. That's rich people's business. And just him with this Coretta, since it's Dr. King Day, and bringing up Coretta, child. Stop bringing up Coretta, Jonathan Majors. Let whoever your woman is be whoever they are. Let her be your Megan Good. Let that white woman be your Sarah Michelle Gellar or whoever that lady was. Like, stop bringing up Coretta. And Coretta children said, stop bringing up my mama. My mama was not a prop. Okay, Coretta Jr. She said my mama was not a prop. Okay. Now stop it, Jonathan. Like I said, I don't believe Jonathan Majors did anything major. Okay. He bent the lady finger up trying to get his phone and ran away from her, arguing in public. I saw Dana White slap the out of his wife in a club and never heard of any charges popping up from that. I've seen people really beat women and brutalize women and not face any charges for it. So Jonathan Majors snatching a phone from this woman and bending her finger was wrong. But it was not on the level of some of these beatings and traumatic situations that I have seen men do to women. So do I believe Jonathan Majors will come back and be a star again? I do. It's probably going to take a little bit of time. I don't know. Shit. I don't know how Hollywood is. I don't know if Jonathan did something and didn't follow the Illuminati rules. I don't know what the tea is with that. So I guess we'll have to figure that out when we figure that out. I think Jonathan can definitely come back. I don't think he'll be back with Marvel. Probably won't be back with Marvel, but he dropped and fumbled and fucked up that bag. But you'll be back with somebody else, child. Next, I want to talk about, I want to give, my condolences and a shout out to John Morant for all of my sports fans. This is DB Sports. John Morant, child, had just came back from his 20-something game suspension and now is out for the season with some kind of injury. I don't know what the injury is, but he's out for the rest of this season with an injury now. After just coming back, and they said that I think the Grizzlies was losing when he was gone, but when he came back, they had to start winning. So sad to see Ja, but Ja, rehab and just take care of yourself, and you'll be back next season, hopefully, for that whole season. Next, I want to also give a shout out while we're giving our shout outs and condolences and stuff like that. Give a shout out and a congratulations to Kelly Uchis and Don Tolliver, the baby. A couple months ago, we saw Kelly Uchis at Flognaw, and Barnesy and Adriana was like, is she pregnant? And I'm like, she do look like she a little thick in the stomach and a little thick in her face. She's pregnant, child. So shout out to Callie and Don for that beautiful child going to be coming into this world soon. Also shout out and 5 snaps and a yes to Angela Bassett for finally getting her flowers and finally receiving her Oscar, child. Long overdue. The woman should have won an Oscar for What's Love Got to Do with It. Probably should have won an Oscar for her performance in Waiting to Exhale. She should have won an Oscar for a lot of roles. She probably could have won an Oscar for her role as Michael Jackson Mammy in American Dream. She's played a lot of people, so she's long overdue for her Oscar. This is an honorary Oscar. Doesn't really, I'm not even going to say it doesn't count, but she should have gotten it for one of her roles, but I'm glad she has it. Next, I want to talk about this Alaska Airlines thing that happened, y'all. Where, we're sitting on the plane. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking off soon. Okay. We take off. You bump and listen to Renaissance on the plane. Bitch, a whole blast open on the side of the goddamn airplane. Minutes after takeoff. Child, this Alaska Airlines airplane literally just had what I just said happen, bitch. A panel, a window seat. I know Erykah Badu said, can I get a window seat? Don't want nobody next to me. And that's how I always think when I get on an airplane. I want a window seat, bitch. Do you think I would ever sit by a window again on one of these 737s or whatever these Boeings? No, bitch, no wing. I'm not sitting by the fucking window ever again. Aisle me, bitch. Aisle me from now on, bitch, okay? Because that panel blew off of that motherfucking airplane. And I know it's a one in a small lifetime occurrence, but now, since that's happened, there's been a report saying that American Airlines found a lot of their planes that had loose screws and loose panels as well. And that scares the shit out of me because I just took two 10-hour flights to London and from London sitting next to a goddamn window. No. On the way back, I had an aisle seat because I had a whole row by myself. I flew there sitting next to a window, bitch. 10 hours. Luckily on this Alaskan Airlines flight, nobody was sitting next to that window seat. Because if they were, bitch, they would have been immediately sucked out of the fucking window. Because the entire long panel next to the motherfucking window seat blew off. Flew off somewhere and landed in Idaho. And didn't land with the plane in Miami where it was headed, bitch, okay? And then the nerve of Alaska Airlines to only offer the people on the flight a refund and $1,500. Bitch, I want $15,000, bitch, for the trauma you have just caused me for the rest of my life now. Every time I get on an airplane, thinking that a panel's gonna blow off, and we just the mask gonna fall, and we gonna lose air, and oxygen gonna get sucked out of our goddamn stomachs from the depressurization. Depressurization. I said it twice. Depressurization. Alaska Airlines tried it. I roll of the night award to Alaska Airlines because I'm not feeling it. In my Beyonce kitty cat voice, I'm not feeling it. Now, child, to end today's show, I want to talk about this YouTube drama going on over at Fox Soul between Funky Dineva Ross, hey Funky, that's my girl, shout out to Funky, and TGIF. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, so on the YouTube channel, Fox Soul, they have a daily show that comes on called TGIF. Very similar to what I do. They talk about the headlines and topics and things going on from that day or previous day throughout the week, Monday through Friday. So the show has Claudia Jordan, who is from, Deal or No Deal, Real Housewives of Atlanta, the show with Jimmy Fox on the radio and Ricky Smiley and all of that, very decorated journalists. Funky Dineva, who is a comedian, YouTuber, been doing this YouTube shit, running the YouTube streets for 13 or 14 years. Somebody who inspired me along with like the Scorpion show, Kevin and McKell, and different things like that to start my show. And then Al Reynolds. I roll of the night awards to Al Reynolds, but we'll get to that soon. So they all, as a trio, talk about the topics, and it was a great show. So fast forward to this first of the year, Funky puts out a YouTube video like, I don't work on Fox Soul no more, I'm leaving the show. And I'm like, oh my God, no. He was the only reason why I really watched it. Funky came in at number one reason why I watched it. Like I said, he's hilarious, comedic. He is the comedic shit on the show. He's why the show's funny. Then Claudia, I did not like Claudia on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I did not like her on that show. But following her and watching her here, I love her now. I love her commentary and I like her character on this show. Didn't like it on Real Housewives of Atlanta because I felt like she was there to be a Nene killer or Nene. She wanted to be the antagonist to her protagonist or protagonist to Nene's antagonist, and it just didn't work. But I love her on TGIF. Do not like Al Reynolds. Al Reynolds does not belong on this show. And that's the reason why I hated the show. I would literally watch the show the next day to fast forward through Al because Al Reynolds does not belong on TGIF. TGIF people, fire Al Reynolds. Al Reynolds does not belong on this show. He is so out of touch. He is not in touch with this generation of tea. He needs to go over there with McMillan and let Mauro come over here. So it could be Mauro, Claudia, and I would have said Funky, but we're going to get into that in a second. But it could have been Mauro, Claudia, and Funky. That would have been more in touch. Al Reynolds is the same man who said, what's a carpet muncher? What's deep throating? Calling Sheree Cherie, talking about they friends. You know, me and Cherie are friends. Who is Cherie? Her name is Sheree. Who is Christine? You are really good friends with Christine Rock and go to the same church as Christine Rock. Krishan Rock. He does not know anything about no goddamn tea. He needs to be over there with McMillan talking about old man shit and scholarly shit and let T put me on TGIF. I'll be a better host on TGIF than Al Reynolds. Al Reynolds is not a star. Al Reynolds is not a journalist. Does not give good commentary. Who is he other than somebody who married Star Jones, pretending to be straight? Who is he? I want you to go back to Bowie State, okay? Because I just don't like Al, so Al can go. Anyway, so Funky now is back to his YouTube and is doing his YouTube 5 nights a week, back to slaying the girls. He is pulling in 15 to 17, 18,000 viewers on his live at the same time that he would go live with TGIF, who was getting barely 4,000 to 5,000 people watching live. So he's doubling and tripling what they're doing over there by himself. So I'm going to roll with Funky, obviously. I did go ahead. I tried to tune in sparingly to TGIF, and I just did not like it. It's not the same without Funky. Claudia can go ahead and do a show by herself and have guests come in every week or every day. She don't even really got to do it every day. Do 2 to 3 days a week and have guests come in, just you, Claudia. This could be TGIF with Claudia Jordan. We do not need Al Reynolds to be on that show. I'm sorry. And then to be a professor getting on YouTube, getting drunk, and talking about some of the things that he talked about, just weird to me. Bye, Al. Next. I'm going to roll with Funky. I'm sorry. I am going to roll with Funky for my daily tea and news and comedy. But I am sad to see that this happened. Funky says that Claudia did something underhanded and fake and phony. And that's who he has a problem with. He did not go into detail. He did say that he's going to keep that one loaded in a chamber in case somebody's feeling froggy. And over there, they're not feeling froggy. I see that over there on Claudia's side. She said, I'm just not going to address it. I'm going to ignore it. So we're probably not going to find out why Funky's mad unless one of these days Claudia feels froggy or jumps out of her body and says something smart. And Funky is just like, so the reason why I was mad with Claudia is because... And then Funky said that Funky said the reason why he's mad with, but bitch, shake the table. I don't know what table, but it's going to shake a table. So that's that, child. We'll see what happens with that, but that's the news, child. That's really all that happened this week that I can think about. People still talking about this Cat Williams stuff. A lot of stories and just more videos about that is happening. And that's about it, y'all. I will be back next week with whatever happens this week, child. It's Monday morning. Let's see what happens through Friday nights. And we'll be back next weekend to talk about all that hot topics and tea. Until next time, hashtag DeRoBitchy on all social medias. You'll find something. Deuces.